What's up, guys? All right, so a lot of you all have probably seen my review of the Springfield Hellcat Pro. Now, in that video, I talked about how I did not want to like this pistol, but holding it, dry firing it, running it, feeling how smooth it was, because it is very smooth, and the texture, I said I really liked it, but then I shot it. Then I hated it again. Made me feel a little bit better because I didn't want to like it to begin with. But part of the reason I didn't like it is the trigger. So here again, the take up, it feels a little smushy. You get used to like SIG triggers and stuff like that out of the box. And they're really smooth, and like staccato triggers, of course, because they're 4 times the price of this pistol. But there's a lot of other pistols out there that their triggers are just smooth and don't feel like there's, I don't know what I want to say. It just feels mushy, like something's dragging. It feels like it's dragging. That's the best way to put it. It feels like something's dragging inside it. Now we get to the wall, and it breaks. Now we'll do a gauge here in a minute to see what poundage this trigger is. But here is my biggest issue with this trigger. I want you to watch this. There's the reset. That's forever. I mean forever. Now what we're going to do now is we're actually going to install the Apex trigger. I contacted Apex and I was like, I hate this trigger. I want to do a video on it. I hate this trigger. And I'd like to thank them for sending this trigger out for testing and review. This is their action enhanced trigger. It does come with a couple of springs and a trigger shoe, kind of like what the M&P does. Let me show you that. I'll be right back. Okay, so I happen to have 2 M&Ps. One of them has an Apex trigger, one of them does not. So you can see here, this trigger is kind of squishy, and that breaks way back here. The reset, going right there. Now, if we look at the Apex trigger, I mean, there's not a whole lot. Breaks. Reset. I mean, it's amazing. And that has springs that come with it as well. And I think that trigger breaks at about 1.5 pounds after I put this in here. But I did leave the factory springs. If you leave the factory springs, that's the lowest setting. If you put theirs in, it raises it. I don't know. But that trigger did decrease the trigger pull and the reset by a little bit. And I'm curious if this will do the same thing. Now, I'm not going to show you how to install this trigger. YouTube doesn't like stuff like that. But I will tell you this. Apex has wonderful videos on their website that shows you exactly how to install this and how to use this card and stuff like that to fold on the vise so that you don't damage or scratch the trigger or anything like that. So I will direct you to them to go check that out as you purchase this trigger or any of their triggers. They have installation videos for all of them, and they are great videos. On this, we're just going to be testing it for like the pull, the reset, and I'm going to take it to the range because I'll probably go to the range tomorrow, so I wanted to get this done today and just see how good it actually does and see if it actually helps me a little bit, because I couldn't shoot this gun worth of crap. But Apex makes good stuff, and I have a lot of confidence in this trigger. So let me go put this in, and I'll see you back in a little bit whenever we get to the range. All right, guys, we're at the range. We got the Apex trigger on the Hellcat Pro here. We're going to give it a few shots downrange and just see how much this has actually improved this pistol. Now, I hated the Hellcat trigger before. This trigger does feel like it has made it better. The reset is shorter by a little bit, and the trigger pull, this flat trigger, just feels better in my opinion. But time will tell when we put a few rounds downrange. And I did throw the Olight PL Mini Light on here just to kind of balance out the pistol a little bit. I've always felt like if you put a light or something on the front of the pistol, it just bounces these polymer pistols out a little bit. So I did do that. But what we're going to focus on is the Apex trigger. Again, I want to thank Apex for sending this out when I reach out to them, because Hellcat triggers are horrible. in my opinion. So let's put a few rounds of this target down range. Again, 10 yards. We're just going to try to get used to it right now. Put about 15 rounds through it, just getting used to this new trigger, and see how it does. Okay, we're just using some 115 Blazer brass, just normal ball ammo. And we're going to put a few rounds in this target down here, just see how this trigger feels. Okay, so first 15 rounds with the Apex trigger actually feels way better. My groupings were better. I'm a little left on this pistol. That's me, it's not the pistol, I'm sure. But look how much better. I had a few over here. That's probably my first few that I was getting used to. Everything else was right here. I'm gonna say these are my first three, because the first three I was trying to fill out the trigger, and then I brought it into this group right here. And that's a huge improvement over the stock trigger, in my opinion. Like I said, still just a little bit left. Again, that is me. That's probably more grip than it is trigger control, if I was guessing, because I have been working on my grip. But I'm getting more accurate as time goes on. If you've never held one of these little guns, the grip is kind of square, which I haven't decided if that's a good or a bad thing yet, because when you're squeezing front to back, it feels good in the hand, but I just haven't decided on that yet. But that is way better than the stock trigger. So let me load up another magazine. I actually forgot my other magazine. I meant to bring two. So we're going to have to load up this one over and over. And we'll put a few more rounds to this pistol, and then I'll give you my final thoughts on the trigger. Huge improvement. Huge improvement. My shots, like I said, are still a little left, but grouping way better. Way better. I had a couple over here normal, but look at this. Look at this group right here. I mean, like I said, I was aiming somewhere right in here, so I'm shooting maybe like a ½ inch or so left. But that grouping is way better than what it was with the stock trigger. This trigger feels so much better. The reset is way better. Let's look at it right here. I showed you once before. There is that take up right there. I do want to say, I said before, that take up is a little draggy, like the factory trigger was. It felt a little better, but it was still a little draggy. I did say it was better earlier, but it's actually even getting better now. So it's starting to smooth up a little bit. It's nowhere near as draggy as it was earlier. And it was even an improvement over the first trigger, but it's even gotten better since then. But you have this take up right here, hit that wall, boom, reset. Still not as short as like my SIG X Macro, but still way shorter than it was prior. I say way shorter, it's noticeably shorter. The wider trigger actually feels way better as well. It feels like I have better trigger control with this wider trigger than I did with the Hellcat trigger. I'm going to put a few more rounds through it, and then I'm going to throw up a shoot and see, and just see just how much better we have gotten with this trigger. I feel like I could put a shoot and see up right now and still greatly improve over what it was with the stock trigger, because we can see the groupings right there are just way better than they were previously. Okay, again, 10 yards, 115 grain blazer brass, 3-inch shooting C. I did buy some new shooting Cs, but we're leaving this just like we did before to make it apples to apples. Slide did a lot back. Rode that slide stop. But the proof is going to be in the pudding on this. I don't even know if I hit a shooting C in the last video with the stock trigger. But if you'll look at this, 3 shots right there, or maybe there's, yeah, it looks like 3 there and 2 right there in a 3-inch shooting C. So you're talking about, I don't know, 3/4 inch group. With the Apex trigger versus, I don't even remember if I hit a shooting C with the stock trigger. If I did, it definitely didn't have all 5 rounds in it. So, what do I think? I think if you own a Hellcat, this is a must. And I'm not saying that because they sent it to me. Right there's the proof. I put about 4 or 5 magazines through this, just getting used to the pistol. Threw up a shooting C and hit every round in it. Whereas with the stock trigger, I don't even remember if I hit a shooting C. If I did, it definitely wasn't all 5 rounds. This trigger is amazing. It's worth every penny. I think it's like $80-some, and you get the trigger and a few springs and stuff like that. Definitely worth it. Not a hard install at all. You can see right there, functioned flawlessly. Apex has a great reputation for triggers. And I actually have an M&P I'm fixing to do a video on that has an Apex in it. They make triggers for all different kinds of pistols, Hellcat, Smith & Wessons. My FN 509 Tactical has an Apex in it. I've got Apexes and Glocks. If you own a pistol, they may make a trigger for it, and if they do, it's worth the money. Again, I want to thank Apex for sending this out for review and making this pistol actually a viable carry option for me now when it wasn't before. And I was actually thinking about getting rid of this. I liked it when I got it, when I felt it, when I dry fired it. When I actually shot it with the stock trigger, I was like, I may sell this or trade it. But now I'm keeping it because I can actually hit stuff with it. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please go check out Apex Tactical. Pick up a trigger for your pistol because it will only make it better. And I love you guys. See you next time.